Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Tri-County Sasquatch Watch. This is the next episode. And look, I'm just going to get to the chase real quick here. This is an important episode because we didn't have time last time we spoke to talk about Lynn's letter. And so we're going to talk and have a little reaction time to Lynn's letter. It's very important that we talk about that because there are a lot of things that happened in there that we need to talk about vis-a-vis safety when it comes and what happened. Now, Lynn and her friend Ray, the Rays, they inadvertently figured out one of the safety things. If you read that letter carefully and if you know what we're talking about, you can see what I'm saying. They didn't go out alone. They went camping together, and that's vitally important. Vitally important. And they now know that. They didn't know it then, but they know it now. But the beautiful and gorgeous Donna Rochelle Davies, I just want to turn this over to you since you were gracious enough to read that letter to us. Would you like to talk about the things that stood out to you about Lynn's letter?
Well, I think what I'd like to talk about first of all is how sad the beginning part was. I thought that was really, really heartbreaking, and I do feel like I have some good news for those of you who felt like I did, that it was just a terrible, terrible way to find out that your fiance, the love of your life, would be seeing somebody else on the side. Okay, so that's first and foremost. So I have some good news. We will be having another podcast, and we have met a wonderful woman who has a particular business that introduces people who've had similar traumatic experiences surrounding Sasquatch encounters.
We're not going to get into that now, but
Right.
Just so everybody knows, it's really all on the same page. We are all on the same page here, so it's really fantastic, and I just think that's wonderful. But I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, that's perfectly fine. We will be having an interview with her, not Lynn, but with the woman who has taken it upon herself to find a special someone for someone so special as Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, don't worry, Lynn has totally told us that she was 100% on board after giving it some thought, and that's why we went ahead and did the broadcast and allowed you all to hear her experience. And she said, I thought at first about just scrapping the whole thing, but then I thought about what you all had said, that maybe my words might help somebody else. And and they sure have, Lynn. I can't tell you how many people have contacted us.
It would take 6 or 7 shows just to name everybody. So
it was a very, very important thing for you to have done, and we are so honored that you trusted us enough to bring this to us. And I'm just very excited that we might be able to help Lynn find some love. A very special someone.
Isn't that awesome?
It really
Especially
is.
after something like that.
Isn't that crazy how these things can sometimes work out? You think it's the worst thing that's ever happened in your life, but it's the turning point to your future. A future you could never have imagined being wonderful.
We are not saying go ahead, break up with your boyfriend, go to the woods, and almost get eaten by a squatch.
We are not.
No. And if it weren't for the intervention of a Dremel tool to survive, that's not what we're saying.
That is so true.
That's not what we're saying.
That is so true.
But the letter illustrates the important things that go on out there. And we're going to talk about that, but go ahead and keep going. I know you had some other things you want to say.
I think that's all I really wanted to say about the beginning part of the letter, just to let you know that anybody who's ever been in that situation can certainly, empathize and sympathize with you, Lynn, and you really put your heart out on your sleeve on this one, and I'm just excited that we might be able to help you out, find you somebody who will treat you as you deserve to be treated.
Indeed.
Secondly, of course, we were able to talk to Lynn, and she was able to share some more details to her situation.
Didn't she say she was going to put together a little book of poetry?
Well, I mean, I think that that's something that she just does normally.
Mhm.
I don't know if she's willing to share any more of her poetry now. Anytime she wants to.
We'll read it right on the
Absolutely.
air. We'll read it on the air.
Oh, absolutely. But I don't think that she was saying anything about that
Oh,
per
okay.
se.
Okay.
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 I think she just had written that for that particular experience. Now, maybe there might be some poetry that comes out when she meets that special
Oh,
someone.
that'd be
and
wonderful.
I would love to have
That
her
would be
read something like that
wonderful.
on the air if she's ever in the area.
Well, that would be wonderful.
And I would love to actually meet Raylyn in person. She is a wonderful young lady.
And if there's a chance that Tri-County Sasquatch Watch could play even just a little part in,
Oh,
in
my
bringing them
gosh.
together, how wonderful
Oh, my
is
heart
that?
would just burst with
How
pride. I
wonderful
would
is
just
that?
love that. That really, really would be wonderful.
Okay, so, well, I guess the things I want to talk about, as I'm a practical person, and camping and weapons and being equipped, having a toolbox that helps you survive a Squatch encounter, it's very important to me.
Yes, it is.
So they were understandably upset when when they decided to go camping. Okay? So when I talk about the things that happened to them, I am not saying they did things right or wrong, because when you don't know what's happening, you don't know that that decision was right or wrong. But from the get-go, they got prepared at least to be out in the woods. They got prepared. What they didn't know was what happens in the woods, which is what we've been trying to tell people forever. And now her story can be a cautionary tale for everybody else.
That is so true.
So they went past the resort that had the pool. They could have stopped that.
They went past the KOA
Yeah.
campground.
They went past that and decided to go deeper into the woods to their dad's old house out there, middle of
It's a
nowhere.
hunting cabin.
Yeah, hunting cabin. Now, I don't recommend y'all go that far deep in the woods unless you're in a group, and that group includes people that know what the heck is going on. Okay? Maybe a cat, if you can, if the cat
People
likes
are not
that.
going to take, now listen,
Take their Dremel with them.
David
Absolutely.
Davidson, we need to stop right here. Okay, not everybody has cats like we have. We have raised ours from little niblets, okay? They're just the sweetest things ever. We have taught our cats how to walk on leash. We have quite a few that do not mind going out into the woods with us when we go camping. But that is not normal. Most people do not have those kind of experiences out in the woods. Like, they would lose their pet, unfortunately, okay?
They would. They would.
I'm just saying that for
But
those
I'm
of
just
you
saying,
who live in a
if-
wooded area, having your cats there really does. It's like I don't even know how to put it.
It's like having a
almost,
security bubble. It really is.
It really is.
It really
because
is.
it's almost like, if somebody put barbed wire or electric fence around their house, you wouldn't believe, the reaction that happens when they are nearby. It's like, oh, it freaks them out.
Yeah. So for those of you that are in the know, and y'all, I'm sure those people noticed the part in the story that Raylyn told us was when her friend went out and they went for their little walk, and she all of a sudden wanted to lay down and take a nap. Now, for those of you who don't know, it is impossible for a Squatch in the Americas, and we'll talk about more about that, about Dr. Culverson's book when he explains it all, because this is the reaction to Raylyn's letter. Okay, this is very important. Those of you who don't know, a Squatch can't Google more than one person at a time, which is why it is so important to go out. It's more than one person with you, okay? It's vitally important. What you'll notice is the Squatch Googled her friend and said, maybe you should take a nap.
Exactly.
And what'd she do? She laid down and took a nap right in the middle. How many
She
people?
didn't even question,
How
does
many
this make
people do
sense?
that? How many people do that, ladies and gentlemen? That's why it's vitally important when you're out with your friends. If they say something stupid, hey, snap them out of it. Get out of there. Get back to your cabin,
And
because something
Raylyn
bad's
did
about to
say,
happen.
She said,
She
that
did.
thought
She
that was
noticed
the
it.
weirdest thing in the whole world, but she didn't want to say, "Hey, don't take a nap," because here her friend had done so much for her, taking her.
Because I can tell you this.
To the cabin and all of that, and so many kind things that her friend had done
I
for
can
her.
tell
She just
you.
didn't want to say, "Hey, that's weird."
I can tell you, I can count on one hand, ladies and gentlemen, one hand, the number of people out there in this United States, in all the history that I have uncovered, who at the time of their Googling didn't know what was going on with Sasquatches, survived their encounter. I only know it's a handful. I mean, one handful. It's the only one. And if it weren't for the fact that this Squatch was in need of help.
Oh, yeah. But he
Ray
didn't
Lynn,
even know.
Lynn.
I'm just saying, when he approached it, he didn't know. He didn't know that his answer was going to be in that backpack until he was upon him. And I feel like that's.
But what I'm
knew.
saying, because ladies and gentlemen, there are three types of Googling, okay, and there's only a couple of species, and we'll get into that later, in the Americas that aren't adept at doing all three forms of Googling. Okay, there's the Googling that'll lead you to your death, straight up, can't stop it.
Yeah.
It's like if for those of you who read the books, it's like when Voldemort does the killing curse. Ain't nobody survived the killing curse except for Harry Potter. Just like this type of Googling, you ain't going to survive unless your friends are there to help.
And David Davidson, I'd like to think that it's more like when you're driving up to a drive-through window, and on that window screen is all the options.
All the
you
options.
You can get the big burger with the fries.
That's a good
onion
point.
rings.
That's a really good window
You're
right
going
there.
up there, you're looking
about.
at the menu, you're deciding what you want to order, and then bingo, number 5 with the fries, that's the one I want, and make that drink extra tall with lots of ice in it. It's sort of like that.
Well, I'm saying.
They know, hey, I want that one right there.
Well, I'm differentiating.
Yeah.
I'm differentiating. See, I'm talking about people who don't know, who aren't in the know.
Oh, okay. I got you.
People who aren't in the know, I count on one hand the number of those that have survived the Googling to come in and get eaten.
That's true. No,
okay?
yeah, that's true. Nobody's
Because
gonna be
me
talking
and you,
after that.
me and you know that eat like crap, eat crap before you go to the woods. Because guess what? When he comes up to that window and he's looking at all the options, he ain't gonna eat the crap.
That's right. That's what David Davidson and I, we have a thing that we do, and well, I guess we can't say the name brands.
We better
then
not.
we get
Better
in
not.
trouble.
Yeah, we better not.
But you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that we eat before we head out. Like those Squatch is going to want to eat us.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right.
That's for sure.
That's right. Because I guarantee you, let's say he's looking down. That's what Googling is. He's looking down at his menu, and he Googles somebody and he sees junk food.
Yeah.
Then he Googles somebody else and he sees beef jerky and granola and acorn bread.
Protein.
Bam! Guess
Protein,
who?
Something healthy.
Guess who just got invited to the woods or to a cave to be eaten? Right there. That's why it's vitally important, your diet up into and while you're there in the forest trip, that you continue to eat junk. And you just oh my gosh, honey, that's the cobbler.
Oh, okay. I'll get that.
Okay. Well, folks, I'm sorry we just zipped through that episode. We're just gonna have to put it right there. We're going to end right there, and then we're going to come back because there's way too much more to talk about. And we want to make sure that we get all that information out to you. So on behalf of Donna Rochelle Davies, I'm David Davidson Davies Jr.
And I'm Donna Rochelle Davies.
And we believe.